Lesson, sequences at LD. Sequences are end-pointed packaged events numbered as seconds. So what we mean by numbered as seconds is that within 1 second, an entire event takes place at an existence plane. So within 1 second, this packaged endpoint event that we build takes place at seconds. Sequences at LDD duly localizes where and when a packaged event can depackage onto a timed second at an existence-able plane. The endpointed packaged events are called leaf pilt. Leaf pilt, the endpoints are sequence at LDD and CF tragic, triumphant. All right, so those are the endpoints of them. So if you're in quadrant 1, you have sequence LDD, you have CF triumphant greater than tragic. So it's in here. At that state, that's when you're really close to being able to deploy the packaged event into an existence plane. Now remember that a packaged event, it's called leaf pilt, so this is the event, all right? This event could be a phenomenal amount of time, okay? So this is where we live here. And you know, there's 3,600 seconds in 1 hour. All right, so we'll just call that this. This here is a single second. And within this single second, you have a packaged event, a leaf pilt, that we are building, and it goes on to this second. So if a B-dubs and physicality go into here, it can take place for X amount of time. Like, let's say it's 10 hours. Let's say we built this leaf pilt for 10 hours. Then it's going to be a 10-hour leaf pilt that a B-dubs physicality reaches within one sequence. So we use it to anchor it into an existence plane. Hence, seconds at LDD or sequence at LDD. Level degrees, LDD, level degree decks, are, for the sake of staying on point, just note that there are 95 level degrees and there are 7 decks. Each level degree has 1 deck. Leaf pilt are not self-initiating entities, meaning that to deploy a leaf pilt, B-dubs must build a leaf pilt from 25 scaled angstroms from only triumphant. And yes, very true. So from 25 laws, only triumphant angstroms distributions to build a leaf pilt from PPF tap. So from those existence, those states and planes, you also have to be triumphant at there. So in your past, your thalamus afuera peripheral must be triumphant per 25 laws. Same for present. Thalamus afuera peripheral triumphant across 25 laws. Same for future thalamus afuera peripheral triumphant across 25 laws. So you may receive the distributed angstroms from triumphant and build and deploy leaf pill, which another requirement is that you have to have a sequence at LDD, because it's not self-initiating entities. They're just not. So you have to be able to install at a second where we live a sequence that has already been built and account for the time you're putting it into in order to even be able to do it in the first place. The reason this is on point to peripheral plume is that's exactly how we will do it. We'll do it as a sequence at LDD. It will make it a leaf pilt. So on lessons point, how does this apply for peripheral plume? Okay, so if we have a B dub, and that's us, that's me, or that's you, whatever, and that's our hertz, okay? So, and we're seeing F this, we're converting factor this energy into a mass, okay? And the ability to do it is that we get the angstroms from 25 laws from states and areas systematically we get those by declaring them with words, right? In which case we start to put endpoints on here. So we know that we're not getting tragic. We know that we're not getting tragic, so we're not down here. We're not over here with it, which is more of a witness versus a control. So we start to satisfy it by being systematic with our thoughts at our thalamus afuera peripheral for our states of past, present, and future on 25 laws, equaling angstroms from our hertz. And our intentions, our words, are to build these endpoints. So now that we have that, and we have our thoughts in a systematic approach and our words as a systematic approach across states and areas, we need to define what the seconds or sequence is at LDD. For the sake of not going too far the wrong way, tangents, even though like it's got its point, we're just going to give the LDD as LDD 16 through 29 with deck 2 as our word that we're going to CF into mass. All right, so just know it's Earth. Okay, so now we satisfied the sequence, or we've satisfied the LDD. So we've got a point there. Boom. Now we know the event within here is a peripheral plume. Now, from the earlier lessons, we set up the distance. I'm not going to go into the math of it now. We're going to save that for the next lesson. I just wanted to show you that it's all coming together. And I mean, it was something like 1 mile high, 1 mile wide by Earth's diameter, like 7,921, something like that, miles, right? And then we came up with the volume of it, and we came up with the distance using the charged particles from solar's convection's fusion, right? And we know that's what gives us the illumination that we're seeing. We know that's what it makes it leave as well, and it gives us all just a better approach to seeing that this angstroms is true and not any person able to rebuke it. And it just makes it simpler. It makes it simpler to see that it's actually occurring. Actualitized. All right, so our sequence, if there is 86,400 and there are 86,400 seconds in a day, that means this sequence of peripheral plume, which is only one, we have 86,400 opportunities to implant this event into our existence plane. That is LDD 16 through 29. Easier is to call it LDD 2, deck 2. All right, so now that we have this, and we know here, we talked earlier as well that within 43,200 is sunrise, and we know minus 43,200 is sunset. So within this one here, we will do it. So just call it down the middle. So within 43,200, we will einroard is the word for activating it. An activating leaf pilt is called einroard. So within this sunrise to sunset here is when it will be activated. So the reason I'm bringing that up is because this lesson is sequences at LDD. So a very rough way to look at it before the final, not rough, I guess broad, a very broad that will become more detailed. Yes, way to look at it before the final will be, so our sequences at LDD will be plus 43,200 greater than 0. And we know that is daylight, sunrise to sunset at LDD dose. LDD2.